Welcome to Literary Lads. Welcome to Literary Lads.
Welcome back to the Literary Lads. We are here to discuss the last few chapters of A Court of Thorns and Roses. And to that end, we've been provided with a few discussion questions from our fearless leader, Caitlin. The first of which is, did you expect Tamlin to send Feyre home?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the classic move, right? It's like, oh, I can't deal with it, so just like, I'm going to cut you out of my life because supposedly that's supposed to be easier, even though it was obviously worst choice that he could have made, but...
You side the biggest. I think you should go next.
I mean, didn't Tamlin, sacrifice, everybody in his court, and then now he has this person who he's really close to getting to say, I love you, and he's just like, you know what? Just go home.
A waste.
I just feel like that's,
Wasteful.
I mean, it's a waste.
It's like talking about, sitting here between takes. You talk about college recruiting. He recruited her. He put all this effort to get her at his school. All this time flying on the private helicopters, gets her there, and then sends her to the transfer portal. It's embarrassing.
It's like
really
Nick
it
Saban.
is.
He's trying to get you out of
It's
Bama
not
and
how
you
you
just go to Auburn.
It's not how you run a program.
What do you think, Scott?
Guys, I'm pretty drunk right now, so I didn't really hear what you were saying. More the question.
Did you like that they sent Feyre home? That Tamlin sent her home.
Mike Tomlin. Yeah, well, I tell you what are you gonna do? He knew what the situation was, and there's nothing he could do about it. So he loved her, but he couldn't protect her anymore. So at that point, you just gotta send her far away.
James?
I think he's being a bitch.
Yeah.
Talk about it. You wrote out as much earlier.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're banging relentlessly for 2 days, and then he's like, you know what? I'm done here. Go.
Get a little too serious, baby. Get a little too clean.
Let's not, keep banging for 3 more days, and maybe you'll say I love you.
And was the danger really, did it come up out of nowhere? I mean, he already knew, right? They've been cursed for
They
like
put
50
a guy's
years.
head on a spike.
Yeah, but I mean, they've been cursed for
If
like
he's
50
so
years.
terrified, then how is
Yeah, it was a prank. That's all.
how is sending her back gonna help her at all? If you're really that worried about it, then keep her there for 3 more days instead of just sending her and then she can get slaughtered without you there.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Stackshelf has a point.
Okay, so, continue with the wall discussion. If you were Tamlin, would you have sent your men over the wall to try to break the curse? He sent his emissary to get killed by this woman. Would you have done so?
It's like a sacrifice for the greater good, right? I mean, I think you have to, like he did. Was it easy? I'm sure it wasn't, right? But I think you have to at that point in time. Either that or you're just being selfish, right? And ultimately he had the easiest out, right? Because they asked for it, right? They were gonna do it because they're like, we're bros, we'll do it for you, all in.
Here's my question. How easy was it to put this curse on in the first place? Because let's say you do all this to break the curse, could she not turn around and just go, okay, here's curse number 2, and then they're right back in the same situation?
That's interesting.
Well, I also feel like there seems to be more than one way to break these curses.
Good take. That is interesting.
As opposed to sending wave after wave of his own men to just get slaughtered. You gotta start thinking outside the box here, but there's gotta be a different way to break this curse.
From now on, let Jason finish his drink.
Yeah, that almost came out my nose for sure. Thank you, Scott.
James?
That's the only take here I could keep up with. I'll be honest.
I think it's probably the right thing to do, but I don't know if I could have done it. You have that blood on your hands forever, all your
blood on your hands and a mask on your face.
Yeah, but as we learned from the book, the more bloody you are, the hotter you are. So
a lot of blood in this
Wait a
book.
minute. Wasn't there's a place that wasn't affected by the curse, right? What if you tried to recruit efforts there and do a coordinated attack? Was it Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Maybe it was if they would have got the Bengals to participate instead of sending your men off.
Bingo.
well, it was night though, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah. Was it night? I forgot I got that question
It was
wrong.
night.
Is it always
that's
night
right.
there?
I get that question right.
And Rhysand
We haven't gotten that far.
kind of butt heads there a little bit. So
You're the last one. What's your overall take?
Again, I don't really remember the question.
Would you have sent your own
10
guys?
since we asked it.
Would you have sent your boys over the
Yeah, that's a
wall to
great
get
take.
killed over and over to try and break this curse?
Oh, I think you gotta. You gotta. I mean, it's the curse is just gonna keep coming.
They had
and
the
coming.
death.
Everyone's gonna die out eventually, so just send your boys. That's what they're there for. They're your boys.
Now then, the curse bringer, who was Amarantha, what'd you think of her?
she wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
That's
Unfavorable.
from the get-go, not
Unfavorable
nice.
opinion.
Yeah.
Unfavorable.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being detestable, 5 being have a beer with her, where is Amarantha?
at the very bottom of 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost don't want to talk about her because I feel like she would derive pleasure from that. So.
Oh.
Did you like her?
I feel like maybe she just wasn't understood. Yeah, exactly.
Oh
you know?
my God.
No, I think she was kind of written as like a one-way character. You know, sometimes you get like these villains, and it's like you can kind of understand it. They kind of wrote in, it's like, oh yeah, her sister got screwed over. You know, a human, I guess. You know, backtracked on her. Yeah, there was a little bit there, but it's like there were no redeeming qualities. She was full evil, and I didn't like that. I want a little bit of, some gray.
Yeah. I mean, she was a very black and white character where she was just all in because she was betrayed. And was so angry, just let her get the best of her. So the other enigmatic character towards the end here that we find a lot more about is Rhysand and Feyre's dealings with him. What did you think about Feyre taking that deal to have her be healed by him? Would you have done the same thing? Did you want her to take that deal to get healed by him?
No.
No?
I wanted her to die out of spite. Instead of
You wanted to look in about 100 pages earlier.
She kept just ignoring Alice. Like every single thing that Alice advised her before like she took off to go into the mountain. Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, and go fuck that.
I don't need that.
Yeah. I'll just ignore all of the advice.
Come on, Alice was so afraid of just like kind of her shadow. Like,
you're saying she was over worried.
Feyre loved Tamlin. She wanted to go get him. Alice didn't care.
You saw Claire on the wall. Like, there was a reason to be afraid.
Oh, I did. Over and over.
Yeah.
That's true.
I wanted her to wait for Lucian. I'll tell you that much right now. I didn't like that deal.
That's exactly where I was. I was like, just wait for Lucian or die out of spite.
Come on, you've described this grievous injury for the past 15 pages. You can wait 5 pages more for Lucian.
But did she really have an option? She's like dying. Like she's basically
bleeding
in the
out.
process
She's bleeding
of
out.
dying.
Yeah, you ain't wrong.
She's laying there. She's like, hold on, 5 more pages.
Okay. All right. I forgot what the question was again. I agree.
Don't wait. Take the deal. You did a great job.
Take the deal because Lucian, for all we know, might be dead. He's already reset your nose like he's, Mick, Rocky Balboa, reset noses on the sideline.
You gotta come me,
Mick. Sorry, excuse me.
It's the wine.
It's the wine. It's everything.
This is hot wine.
It's all the
just
wine
for the
I got going on here. Take the deal. You're dead anyways if you don't.
So
Lucian's probably dead for all you know.
What Scott said.
Another tough decision was made by Feyre. Should he kill those 3 people when presented with it? Should kill the 3 fairies as the final task. If you were presented with the same thing, where you had to kill 3 people for ostensibly the greater good, would you do the same thing?
So I'll be honest. I mean, they present it as this tough choice, but is it? But is it really?
Hold on, we got a character reveal on Jason right now.
Go on, please go on.
You're talking about a whole realm, right? Thousands of people.
Yes, we are.
Of James, can I borrow your pocket knife real fast?
No.
These 3 poor bastards, you just take the hit.
You have to.
Take the hit and make the play.
You have to.
I want to go next.
Well, I think
I agree. I agree.
Go ahead.
Not a tough choice. What did we just talk about?
Yeah.
What did we just talk about?
Yeah, get away from him.
Tamlin's sending his men out to go die out in the wilderness of human land. You have to. How do you make an omelet, right? How do you make an omelet?
How do you make an omelet?
Tell me.
Break a couple eggs.
That's right. I was gonna say crack a few eggs.
3 eggs.
Murder.
I'll take that
Murder
answer.
a few innocent
Murder.
eggs.
Sometimes you have to stab a few eggs through the heart. Okay?
I've never done that.
Tamlin did it. The love of her life did it. So now she's doing it. It all comes together.
James, would you have done it?
I've just never opened an egg like that.
James over there softly, like caressing the egg.
You got shells.
Squeeze.
You got shells in your omelet that
I
way.
used my hands. I don't know.
So you would have strangled those fairies with your bare hands. Or you would have cracked them.
James likes the
their
slow
heads
torturous method. He just like
That's an Amarantha
You would
guy.
bang their head against the counter and then crack them open.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Do you guys remember what the question was?
Jesus.
James, that's all.
So I thought this book was overly violent,
said
and this couch has gotten way too violent all of a
Yeah, you're
sudden.
sitting next to a couple of.
I know. Gee. All right, so we're easy killers, contract wise. So Jesus Christ.
So breakfast at Scott's house. That's what we're doing.
Is Rhysand a hero or a villain?
Ooh.
All right.
Why or why not? Go ahead, killer.
All right. So, Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
You've seen it?
Never heard of it.
Littlefinger equals Rhysand.
Red rum.
For sure. He's just always He's just lurking. He like portrays this thing outwardly, like he wants to be, portrays himself as this character, but he's absolutely only worried about his own personal agenda the whole time. He's playing everybody at all point in time. So, good / bad, I don't really know. He just doesn't give a shit, I don't think.
So he only acted good because it was going to benefit himself.
Only if it benefits him. He doesn't care about anything else.
I feel like he was acting in the interest of his court as a whole, though. And by an extension, the other fairy realms. I mean, that's how I kind of saw it, at least. I think he was self-serving in that he seemed to derive a lot of pleasure out of it. Like, let's be honest, like painting his little girlfriend up with all that tattoos and stuff.
Having her dance for him.
Right, and dress her up in like the slinky Princess Leia outfit. I mean, yeah.
Wait,
Well, yeah, no, I think you're both right. Like, he does do some things for himself. He says, I don't want to be, when the legend is written, I don't want to be written as being on the sidelines. And I thought, that's selfish, right? That's really pretty selfish. But then in the next breath, he says, I wanted to make sure that you didn't die alone. I wanted to make sure that you had someone by your side. So he's a bit both.
But he also said that at the end. It's super easy to be like, oh yeah, I didn't want you to die alone. Like at the end, after everyone's fine.
And
like,
going back to what you said about Littlefinger, he also read her mind, and we know this. So he probably knows, he remembers, the paintings and those scenes with Tamlin. So when he says don't want to die alone, I think he's pulling from that.
You might be right.
Yeah.
The thing that I didn't like when he healed her, he could have just like given her a tattoo or whatever and just been like, hey, you're healed. Okay, bye. He had to be like, hey, come be my booty call for 1 month.
Now, wait a minute.
Do we know that's what's going to happen, though?
Yeah, you have
got
to tune into book 2. It might just be a maid.
There is a little preview of book 2 at the back
Have you
there.
seen, the average, he might just be a male living alone. We've all been there.
He has the like camping chair in the middle of the apartment.
We're all 24.
I don't think
we're all
we need to get on this
24,
path.
25 now. When we were 21, living alone, we both needed a maid.
Bonus question: what does Rhysand's apartment look like?
Can we draw it?
There's a stop sign somewhere. There's a Budweiser sign over there.
I'll agree with Scott.
He eats a rotisserie chicken every night.
As part of foreshadowing, though, they just constantly talk about how good looking he is, right? I mean, even more so than
the most
Tamlin.
beautiful man.
She suddenly starts calling him Rhys after a while, and it's like, oh, okay, I see
I
what's
didn't even
going
notice when
on.
that transition happened. It just like
It's on.
slid
It's
Does
in.
he have
for
corded
sure.
muscles?
Calls it in there.
Was there comments
You
about corded
can't
muscles?
tell unless he's blood-soaked.
Oh,
His neck had
yeah.
biceps, dude.
you want to know the evolution? So Tamlin was always growling, right?
A lot of growling.
Reese, did you know the difference?
He purred.
He purred. Every time they mention him, he was purring. I'm like, who purrs?
Sarah Maas likes to lay it on a little thick. Alright, so we're personifying these characters at this point, so we can go a step further and say if there was a movie, A Court of Thorns and Roses, who would play Feyre and who would play Tamlin? Who would play Tamlin and who would play Feyre?
Tamlin's the twin brothers. Which the one who plays Thor?
Oh, Thor and
One of the Hemsworths.
Yeah,
Yep.
a Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Hemsworth, Chris Hemsworth.
They're not twins.
They're not twins?
No.
They look.
Oh, this is
identical.
brand new information. Hold on. Let's take a break on AOCTAR for a second. They're not twins? Really?
Oh, there's like 3 brothers.
Pull it up.
Triplets.
How many?
Yeah.
What
No,
years
they're-
difference?
So
Several.
anyway,
Doesn't matter.
I'm going with one of the twins. I'm going Chris.
One of the twins. They're still twins.
That's Tamlin.
The big
You guys
guys.
go for
So
Feyre.
Chris Hemsworth plays him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who'd I say?
I don't know.
The other one?
None of you have given
Alright,
a name.
who's
You've just
Feyre? Who's
vaguely
Feyre?
described people.
Which Chris
is playing Tamlin?
Hemsworth, Evans, I don't know,
Hemsworth.
all of them.
Hemsworth.
All right,
Thor.
there's
Yeah,
a whole
Thor.
bunch.
Yeah, it's Thor.
I think we're
Let's
just
go with Thor. I can see that. He's got golden
Spent
hair.
45 minutes on Tamlin. Who's gonna be?
I still picture the guy from Ted Lasso that plays the like guy with the crappy haircut that gets cut off right there.
I thought you were talking about the coach for a second.
No.
I was like, oh my god,
No,
Jason.
the dark-haired guy that's always growling. That's always growling in the show. He always goes.
Yeah.
That guy. That's
Roy
who I
Kent.
pictured. Roy Kent. I pictured Roy Kent as Tamlin.
James, you got any ideas?
I always pictured Lucian as like Loki. I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe we're answering
Are we
who's
talking about
playing
Tamlin
Feyre
or-
and Tamlin.
So which Marvel?
I don't
character?
have anyone in mind except for like literal Beauty and the Beast for like Tamlin.
The cartoon
Beast.
characters.
I-
Tamlin's definitely a beast.
Well, live action, but like yeah.
I don't have a
like-
good handle on Feyre. I only picture her as basically like a little girl, even though obviously all this shit happens. But like I can't like quite get past it. You know, she's like an adult, which that sounds terrible. But
And she can't
I don't
read.
have a good picture. What's up?
She can't read.
Yeah,
She can't read.
right?
No, great point.
Yeah. So I have no clue, honestly.
I pictured like the girl that plays the wildling lady in Game of Thrones. It's like
Oh, the
that
red-haired one?
Yeah, that was the first like
That's,
character that stuck out to me. Picture.
Harrington's wife, right?
Yes, that was the
real
first person who stuck out to me. Is that would be Feyre.
Rose something?
Rose something or other.
Yeah.
Rose Mixon.
Mixed
Rose
up,
Leslie.
brother.
Rose Leslie. Thank you, Brain, for coming up with that independently of other people.